Okay, so the TikTok sale is going to go through. V from Under the Desk News does an excellent job of explaining it. So I'm going to show you their video in just a moment. You may not know, may not know. I do 99% of my content is now over on YouTube. Tom Powell Jr., same name. But here's what V has been able to piece together from the sale of TikTok that is going through.
The TikTok sale is going to go through by January 22nd. Let me give you a rundown of how we got to this point and who's responsible. Also, what you can expect from the new algorithm. A couple of years ago, a congressional investigation into TikTok was launched, and they brought in the CEO of TikTok, Shou Chew. This is me sitting at the hearing. In this hearing, different members of Congress from both the Democratic and Republican Party presented evidence as to why TikTok was a danger to the youth. Much of that evidence wasn't even videos from TikTok, like the NyQuil chicken thing, that came from YouTube. But no matter, because a congressional group of China hawks wanted TikTok to be shut down in America. One, because they didn't agree with the political speech that was happening on it. Two, it was a media that they couldn't control the narrative of. And for whatever reason, the Biden administration decided to remain ignorant about the economic power of TikTok and how many people were running small businesses or making ends meet through money they make on this platform.
Yeah.
This is me explaining that to John Kirby, who was the national security advisor. I also had the opportunity to advocate for doctors, nurses, and science communicators who use this platform to dispel health misinformation directly to the Assistant Secretary of Health. I was told constantly by members of Congress that I quite simply just didn't have access to high-level security information to understand what a national threat TikTok was to the American people. That was, of course, until I met with AOC, who said she has access to those congressional briefings and she does not see TikTok as a national security threat. TikTok launched a thing called Project Texas that ensured that all American data has been housed on U.S. soil by U.S. servers since 2020. Did not matter. The Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversaries Act passed the Congress with a bipartisan level of support. The Biden administration had the opportunity to work with TikTok and their American-led board to get a new deal in place that would satisfy this "there needs to be an American owning the majority of TikTok America" situation. Despite my efforts to advocate directly to the President of the United States about the importance of TikTok, both economically and socially, and to encourage the Biden administration to be the one to control this deal instead of allowing it to go to Donald Trump to control. My advocacy meant nothing up against folks like Lisa Monaco, the former Deputy Attorney General for Biden, and Jake Sullivan, who was a major Biden insider and part of his National Security Advisory team. While I made massive headway with a lot of Congress and the Senate and many members of the Biden administration, including John Kirby, I was ultimately unsuccessful in getting top brass at the Biden administration to recognize the importance of that moment and make that deal with TikTok. So if you want somebody to blame for why Biden didn't do the TikTok deal when he could have, I personally blame Lisa Monaco and Jake Sullivan, but that's me personally. You may pick somebody else. You know who did want to make a deal with TikTok and also recognized how democratized this platform was for marginalized voices to be heard? Kamala Harris. And so, I don't know, maybe the Biden administration was thinking that Kamala was definitely going to get in and she would get this win of being able to decide the future of TikTok and help build out a board and stuff. But of course, that didn't happen. So what you will get now is a Trump-led negotiation for the new TikTok. Larry Ellison, who has held the data at Oracle since 2020, will continue to hold the data. And because of the law that was passed, they are being forced to retrain the algorithm on American audiences only, which means that you will probably see less of your international favorite creators in your For You page. Board seats and other advisory seats will go to mostly right-wing people because the Trump administration got to pick them. This does not mean that TikTok will become a Republican platform. It was made very clear to me that it is not in the interest of TikTok to become a Truth Social or X platform. They've seen how they have failed, how they don't generate revenue, and they don't wish that same future for themselves. Neither do many of the people who have invested in TikTok, like Philadelphia billionaire Jeffrey Yass. Same with David Ellison and other folks who we'll begin to hear about that have made an investment in new TikTok. Their goal is revenue generation, not destroying the platform. At least that's what they say. But the thing that will always piss me off is that it was avoidable. This has been going on for 5 years. We tried to tell them. They did creator events at the Biden White House all the time. And I'm grateful that they did those and that they were listening to us on many other issues. I'm just bummed that, unfortunately, now a lot of the folks who use TikTok are going to feel like they can't or they shouldn't. And no matter what happens with the algorithm, people are going to think that it falls more right-wing now. Personally, I will continue creating on TikTok. I'll be here to the end. I've told you this for the last 5 years. I'm not going to go anywhere. We have ceded our place on X and on other parts of the internet because the right wing comes in and people get jumpy and then they don't want to do it anymore. This place is important. And it is still the most democratized place for marginalized voices. It could do a lot better. It's certainly not going to get better if all of the left-leaning voices or advocates or voices of reason even abandon. So that's where I'm at with it. Wanted to be transparent with you on how we got here, as more people are going to be talking about the new TikTok ownership structure and sort of like trying to guess what went on or who's coming in. Since 2000, no one has known more or been more inside the TikTok journey than I have. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you need me to go live or bring on other experts to help answer questions, I'm also happy to do that. But please don't give up. Don't give up the ship. Or maybe I'm just coping. I don't know. Is this me? Am I the last violinist on the Titanic? Maybe. But that's what I promised you I'd be, and that's what I'll continue to be.
I don't think you're the last violinist on the Titanic yet. But TikTok needs to straighten its shit out, for sure. Because people are seeing more success on other platforms. Nobody wants to leave TikTok. We all love TikTok, and we all hate TikTok, all at the same time. We're addicted to it. This is where we built our platforms. This is where we first had a community. All of that stuff. But the app is, in many instances, an insufferable app, which is why I don't do the, like, you say don't give up the ship. We need left-leaning voices. I'm left-leaning. I'm still a voice, but I'm not doing that political stuff here on TikTok anymore. I'm only doing it on YouTube because of the bullshit that TikTok is going through. I'd love to go back to putting my political content on here as well as YouTube. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath given what kind of ownership we're walking into, who's leading the negotiations, which way these boards are going to go. Like you said, though, they do want to generate revenue, but we'll see. I'm not going anywhere either. I'm just glad that I have a significant following on another platform. So come on over to YouTube and follow me, as well as here on TikTok. I'm going to continue to create on both. But if you want to see my politics, I'm on YouTube. I'll continue to do the non-political stuff here on TikTok, and we'll see where the sale goes.